If your offer isn't selling right now or you're stuck under 30K per month, it's probably not your traffic. It's probably not your funnel. It's probably not your closer or your team. It's likely your offer. And in 2026, the rules have shifted. The offers that worked just 2 years ago, they're quietly dying. And the offers that are scaling, they all hit the same 5 things. I've worked with over 750 coaches and consultants at this point, won the Skool Games 3 times, helped 25 clients build $500,000 businesses, and every single stuck offer can be fixed with this diagnostic tool. So in the next 12-ish minutes, I'm going to walk you through the 5 lenses that I use to review offers. And by the end, you're going to know exactly which one is costing you money. I'm even going to give you the 16-point checklist that I use with my private clients. You can get it for free inside of my free school community, and the link is in the description. All right, let's go. And a quick frame before we dive in. These 5 lenses, they go in order and on purpose. Architecture, arc, self, problem, and then promise. You build the structure first, then you find your price, you find yourself in the work, you sharpen the problem, and then you sell the becoming. And if you skip a lens, then the whole thing wobbles. And most coaches I see have lens 1 and 4 wrong. And then they're trying to fix it by getting better at Instagram reels. And it just doesn't work. All right, so if an offer is not selling, then the first lens that I will look at the offer through is the architecture lens. Now, keep in mind, I work with high ticket, high value service professionals. This is likely different if you are selling low ticket courses and memberships or things like that. All right. But if you are selling high ticket, high value services, then really this lens is a lens of focus, because every time you have multiple offers, you create double the complexity, right? And so this is really a lens of focus. And it's not that you can't sell different things. It's just when you decide to do that and how you decide to frame that. And so the frame is first offer to build is your core offer. This is something that you can deliver within 12 to 16 weeks. It gets your clients amazing results. You have tons of proof around it. You've honed the delivery, and it's just like it becomes the core main offer. And once you get that rolling and you have 30, 40, 50 clients gone through that with testimonials and results, then the next offer to build out is your recurring offer. And this is the back end offer. So after the first 12 to 16 weeks, what's the next offer that you can give to people so that you can continue to help them get results? And everybody wants recurring revenue. But in these types of businesses, the thing that actually gets you recurring revenue, like the RR, is results and relationships. And so if inside of your core program, your 90 days or 16 weeks, you can help them get results and momentum, and you develop a great relationship with them, then it makes no sense to not offer a back-end offer where you can continue to work with them for months and years. And just those 2 things alone, dialed in, is a 7-figure business all day. All right. And a lot of people are like, no, I need to scale and I need to create all these other different low-ticket offers and multiple offers, and maybe I'll switch to a group. But chances are there's so much more to squeeze from just a core offer that actually gets great results and is priced well. All right. But at a certain point, you need leverage. And that's where more of a group program comes in. But a lot of people, like the mistake that people make here, and the lens that I look through is one of, are you focused? And then secondly, it's, are you using the right offer for the right season in your business? All right. So this is lens number 1. All right. So the second lens that I would look at an offer through is through the lens of energetics and your own evolution. So the first part of this lens, the energetic lens, is really from the book Dr. David Hawkins. And he had this book called Power versus Force, and is essentially recognizing that every single human, we have these set points that we operate from and we vibrate on. And a very clear example of this, imagine there's 2 coaches or consultants. Let's call one John and one Brenda. And John, his natural vibrational state is one that is riddled with fear, shame, guilt, worry, doubt. Okay. And the other one, vibrational set point, is love, acceptance, reason, courage, right? Her way of being has a different energetic imprint. And if you just imagine that energetics, these two people could do exactly the same thing. They could go and start DM conversations. They could create content. They can create offers. But the output of what they create will have different frequency and different vibration, and it will produce different results. And so you have to look at, where are you? What is your energetic vibrational set point right now? The second part of this lens is the natural evolution of your course or program or service. And when you are new, like the fact is, you don't have a lot of proof, you don't have all the skills, and you can't charge as much. You're not an expert. But as your skills increase, as your proof increases, you are able to raise your prices. And the cool thing about this is everybody thinks you got to work harder to make more money. But really what happens is you're just raising your standard, and you're able to raise your price, and you raise your capacity to charge premium dollars because you have proof, because you have credibility, because you have authority, because you have the skills. And that's the real work. It's not like a funnel thing or anything else. It's like, it's the work of becoming the expert who can actually charge the premium prices. And so what happens, like if you do the math on this, and if you did nothing else, but you had a system that got you 5 clients a month, right? 5 clients a month, and you did nothing else. In the beginning, if you were charging $1,500 for your program and you had 5 clients a month, this would get you $7,500 a month. If you then, in year 2, you had skills, you had testimonials, you were better, and you doubled your prices, and you had the same 5 clients a month, then that would get you to $15K per month. And again, you get better, you have more proof, you have more specialized knowledge, and you double your prices again, $6K, same 5 clients, that's $30K per month. And then you have 10 clients at 5 clients at $10K per month, and there's your $50K per month. The workload doesn't increase, but your capacity and your prices do. And so this is the second lens that I will look through, is like the energetics. How are your energetics? And then the other one is like, are you evolving your offer and your prices based on your actual expertise? And does that match? All right. So that's number 2. Now, here's where it gets a little bit uncomfortable, because the next 3 lenses are really all about the internal work. And this is the stuff that most people skip, but this is the reason why your offer stays stuck and isn't selling. So stick with me, because this next lens number 3, is really about the niche, or the idea that you are your niche. And this has actually like split the internet. There's lots of people who think this idea is totally dumb. There's lots of people who think that like this is the truth. But I think that this idea, you are the niche, needs the proper context. And the framework for this that I like is like the Ikigai framework, because I think you need all of these pieces to have an offer and a business that gives you a lifestyle, that actually helps people. And it consists of these things. And so when I say you are the niche, one thing that I mean by that is a niche isn't something that you just pick off the top of your head. You're like, I work with dentists. It's like a niche is earned through reps, through experience, through education, through trial and error. Okay. And it's like, I really believe that like a niche is earned. And so, and it's earned in a way that only you can offer the solution in the way that you can offer it. But it does have to have all of these things. So in order to have a successful business, you look at the offer through the lens of, is it solving an actual problem? Okay. I see so many people, that just like their offers don't solve a problem that anybody cares about. And so that's number 1. And an easy way to look at this is like, what is a problem or a valuable result that you have achieved for yourself that other people would want to achieve? If you have that, then people will pay for that. Okay. But it has to be something that actually other people want. All right. Next is, in the way that you've set up your business, Are you doing things that you're actually passionate about, like that you enjoy? And this typically looks like, you know, have you become the expert who is now just an administrative VA because you haven't learned how to hire people so that you can stay in your zone of genius, for example? All right. The next one is, I really believe that, this game of business that we're playing is the small game. Like, we are here playing a much bigger game. We are like spiritual beings having a human experience. And part of our work as entrepreneurs is like our dharma, our purpose. And there's like an alignment with a calling or something that is bigger than us. And you can feel it when you're like in alignment and on purpose, and when you're just kind of like going through the motions. And so this is the next, thing to check with. And then, do you actually have the skills to deliver on the results, or what skills have you acquired? And at the intersection of problems you've overcome, things that you're passionate about, your purpose and your dharma, your why for living, and the skills that you've acquired is your unique offer and the way that you can help people. So your life, and you are the niche. And so the more skills you learn and the problems you overcome and the more interesting your life is, the more you're going to be able to have to offer other people and to help other people with. The more money you're going to be able to charge for that. And so this is lens number 3 that you look through, and does your offer align with the Ikigai? And lens number 4 is really just double tapping on this one right here, problems. Because as an entrepreneur, as a service professional, that's what people are paying you for. They're paying you to help them solve a problem or fix something. And depending on the level of specificity and urgency and criticalness of the problem that you solve is going to drastically determine how much money you can make and how much you can charge for your offer. And so this is a little grid that I will typically look through an offer, like the lens of an offer through, and I will just ask, how critical is the problem that you are solving, and how specific is it? Because if you have an offer that is optional and general, then you're only going to be able to charge so much. A great example of this is sound bathing. Amazing, deeply healing, awesome. And you can't really charge that much for a sound bath. All right. If you have something that is on the other end of the spectrum, which is critical, and it is specific, for example, like an oncologist or a brain surgeon, they can charge a lot of money because they have the skills and they are able to solve very critical and very specific problems. And so as you look at your offer, just look at it through the lens of how critical and how specific is my offer and my solution. Just finish out and round this out. If you have something that is optional and specific, this might be lose 10 or 20 pounds. It's optional, but it is specific. Now, how would you move that up here? Well, you could move that up there by focusing on who you're offering this to. For example, diabetics who need to lose 20 pounds will be more critical, and they will pay more money for that result. Right? And then over here, you have something that is critical and general. This would be like comparing a general practitioner doctor to a brain surgeon. These guys work a ton of hours and they make less money than the brain surgeon, who works maybe a few hours a day. They do one surgery and they get paid 3 or 4 times more because their solution, their offer, is more critical and more specific. All right, so this is lens 4, and lens number 5 is coming up. All right, so this is lens number 4. All right, and lens number 5 is really looking at the promise of your offer and the 5 elements that make this really clear. So the 5 elements are: can you describe the pain that your ideal client is in? Can you describe what it is they want? So that you can help them go from pain island to pleasure island. That's step 1. Step number 2 is, can you identify and be clear on like what are the beliefs, what are the values, what are the perspectives that the ideal client has right now, and who would they have to become? What would they have to believe? What character traits and habits would they have to develop in order to actually achieve a different result? And then do you have the roadmap or the unique mechanism that can help them both transition from here to here and become this to this? And if you have those two elements, so you can give them the practical roadmap, you can actually coach them to become, and you can articulate it all with a unique mechanism, then you can tick all of the boxes and you have a good promise and a good offer dynamic. So this is lens number 5 that I would just go through, and I would look through, are you clear on the who? Are you clear on the what? And are you clear on the why? And if you're clear on all those things, so that's it. That's the 5 lenses that I will look at an offer through to get it unstuck and get it selling. I'll look through the architecture, make sure it's simple, make sure it's focused. I'll look at the energetics and the evolution, make sure it's priced right, make sure that the person selling it has the right energetics. I'll make sure that the offer ticks the boxes, that it solves a real problem, that it's something that the founder is passionate about, that is in alignment with their purpose, and that they actually have the skills to deliver. And then making sure that the problem that they're solving is critical and specific. And finally, that the promise of the program makes sense, and that the offer dynamics, meaning the roadmap, the unique mechanism, the pathway, and the way that you articulate it all makes sense. And I actually put together this offer checklist. So 3 things. If you like this video and you like this content, subscribe. I'm new on YouTube. If you go back a couple videos, you'll see I had my Instagram account deleted, and so learning over here, but intend to drop value like this on the regular. There's a link to this resource where I think it's 16 points, and you can just kind of go through your offer and self-assess and discover why your offer might not be selling the way that you like. And if you'd like to explore working together, there's probably another link in the description for that as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next.